The foundation is important to the overall success of the organization. It helps to support a number of the activities that the organization does.
Well, the foundation offers the private sector an opportunity to be involved with NCSL. It's their way of supporting many of the programs that help legislators to be more effective.
There are very few public policies out there that NCSL and its legislative leaders are not shaping. It's really shaping the policy landscape in the United States. In an era of stalled federal initiatives, in an era of partisan battling, especially here in Washington, D.C.
I really have not been involved with any other forum where there is the opportunity to interact with legislators as closely as there is here at NCSL.
174 private sector members belong to the Foundation for State Legislatures, up from 115 just 10 years ago. The foundation will provide more than $1.5 million for NCSL programs in 2014, and in its history has granted more than $17 million in awards to advance the NCSL's mission.
It's the people that work at NCSL, not just in the foundation staff, but throughout both offices. They are top-notch. They are on top of their game. I think that when it comes to healthcare issues or tax issues or anything that matters in government and policy making, you're not going to find people that are any more intelligent on the issues than what NCSL brings to the table.
More than 30 legislative leaders attended the meeting in Washington, D.C., meeting with political leaders of both political parties. More than 50 legislators attended its Emerging Leaders meeting in North Carolina.
The Emerging Leaders program that NCSL sponsors is a good example of the kind of exposure that we can get to what it is that's next for us in our role as leaders. Because the truth of the matter is we all have some authority because of our positions.
In addition to providing resources to maintain NCSL's informative website, foundation funding allowed NCSL to start a process that will result in a redesigned website this fall. The new site will feature a fresh new look, better navigation, and improved content, such as 50 state maps that will work on smartphones and other platforms.
I use the website all the time, especially during session or in the interim as I'm starting to work on my bill ideas, just to get a sense of what other states have done in a particular area.
For outreach to newly elected members, the foundation supported a mobile website app, communication products and tools, webinars on the top 12 issues, and the production of videos targeting members of both political parties.
I really see the mission of NCSL's foundation as a really ideal private-public partnership, a real opportunity for the private sector to work more closely with NCSL state legislators and legislative staff members.
38 legislative staff from across the country took part in the foundation-supported Legislative Staff Management Institute, the nation's premier program for developing and enhancing management and leadership skills for senior legislative staff.
There's no better place to go than NCSL for quick and accurate information.
More than 1,000 staff and legislators also benefited from 23 webinars that were produced by the Foundation's e-learning grant. The funds provide a menu of offerings from the top 12 issue series to sessions on the election, social media, copyright, energy and transportation, effective and courteous communication in a digital age, the Farm Bill, and others.
Everything NCSL does is really intending to educate legislators and their staff, but also involve the private sector when appropriate to help guide some of the discussions as well.
In addition to that, NCSL Foundation supports activities in state government affairs that are important to all of us. Ethics in government, representative democracy and trust in that representative democracy, and women, the Women's Legislative Network. All things that state government affairs professionals and state legislators care about. The Center for Ethics in Government has been a tremendous resource for educating people about the ethics, about how to go about doing the job without violating those ethics, and about putting rules in place so that everybody's playing on a level playing field.
The Women's Legislative Network tracks the number of female legislators and sponsors information briefings so legislators can better understand an issue and learn from one another.
For me personally, it's been a tremendous experience with the Women's Network in particular. I've really gained inside knowledge on health issues, financial issues, education for women, and was able to, with the inspiration of that type of support from NCSL and the Women's Network develop a women's caucus for the Wyoming legislature and go on to create a leadership program for women across the state of Wyoming.
The Foundation's support of the legislative institution resulted in 3 articles on the subject in State Legislatures magazine and training programs for legislators and staff in Mozambique and Nigeria.
We love NCSL because it incorporates the 50 states and the legislators among the 50 states and gives us an opportunity to get to know them better as well as to interact with them. They have some wonderful meetings where we can exchange ideas. It really helps us so that we know what's going on across the nation.
I definitely would encourage the private sector to be involved with NCSL and the foundation. I think if you're going to make one investment in an outside organization, NCSL should be the organization that you make that investment in.